You only fallen because you risen. I know you've been wanting to change your life and you may feel some discouragement because things just aren't happening quick enough for you. But there's no need for discouragement. Are you going to beat yourself up because you're in a fifth grade and you desire to be in the eighth? No. What you're going to keep on doing, or the sixth, you're going to keep on studying. So no need for discouragement. No need to beat yourself up. No need to keep on feeling guilty. Keep studying. I believe in you. Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. I hope you guys are having such an amazing day. If not, do understand and get your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. If you are new to my channel, my name is Zena Bryant. I do these inspiration videos just talking about how we can shift our energy, change our focus, and focus on the things that we truly desire. Today's video is about giving yourself grace, okay? Giving yourself grace and how to give yourself grace. So many of us, especially when we have become awakened, right? We have heard so many people say that you're only supposed to be at a high frequency, right? Like you're never supposed to think negative thoughts. You know, you're just always supposed to be in a positive mindset. And I get that. And I too used to say that as well. I remember when I had my first spiritual awakening, which in this here lifetime, you can have several spiritual awakenings. But I remember I had my first spiritual awakening back in 2018. And me and my oldest son, we was like on this journey together, right? And I remember one of the things that he had said, because I said, no, I just want to do positivity, right? And one of the things he looked at me and he said, you can't have, if it's not for the negatives, you can't have the positive. And that meant so much in that here moment, because there I was just thinking that we just live in this here world where as though it's just, you know, you just focus on a positive. And you hear so many people say, it's just positive, it's that's positive. But what if I told you that when something comes in your life, and when you feel those emotions, which emotions are energy and motion, but when you feel those emotions, you are able to release that energy. So it's not about you beating yourself up, or it's not about you saying, well, I should have had it right. It's not about you feeling guilty and feeling resentful. One of the things you have to understand is this: we have been asleep for a long period of time, okay? And for many of us, we just started seeing things for exactly what they're not, okay? We've been seeing past the illusions. And to think that you are going to change your life in a snap of a finger is delusional. The reason being is because you have been programmed upon years, so many years you have been programmed with belief system, pathologies, the repetition of those things, what you constantly heard, seen, okay? You have been programmed for so long. And to think that if you read just one book or attend one seminar or listen to one video and to just think that, oh, all right, well, I got it all figured out. That is not how it works. I often say that life is my professor. And I know one of the people on YouTube, Bobby Price, one of the things, he has a book named Life is My Guru. Imagine this. Imagine that you was given a test, right? And you never studied. You never studied for this test. And then you had got a study sheet, and probably you was able to study for 5 minutes. Now, many of you guys would say that don't even make sense, right? Because just because you studied just for those 5 minutes, that does not mean that you are going to pass that test. And the same concept with life. You read a book or you read a few books and you think that, oh, I am changing my life. My life's supposed to change instantly. When you make a decision, your life, you are then moving towards the life that you desire. But I want you to understand this. You will revert back at times because of the programming. And this is why you guys hear me say all the time that repetition is key. It's not, imagine you read one book and you say, all right, well, my life is going to change. But what about all the programming that you have in your subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind does not know fantasy from reality. So all those years upon a repetition that you constantly heard over and over and over again, the things that you constantly seen over and over and over again, and you think that, oh, well, I read one book that my life is going to change. No. The reason why I said, the reason why you have fallen because you've risen, I had got that from a guy on YouTube, I think named Neo something, okay? He always have the glasses on and the sunshades writing on the board. But one of the things that he had said was so profound is the reason why you have fallen because you've risen. It put me in a mind of my favorite read, The Mystic to Cosmic Power. Because in the book by Vernon Howard, it talks about how can you escape a prison that you don't know you're in one. The reason why you're going to give yourself grace is because you've been programmed for so many years, and to think that, oh, well, I'm supposed to have it figured out by tomorrow. That's not how this here thing works. You may revert back. But the beautiful thing about life is this. When you are able to see, right, some of the things that you're doing, you are able to say, all right, why am I doing it? Observing yourself. Observation is the best thing. One of the things that I see within myself is, and it's so funny because it's books that I have on nutrition. Okay, one of the books, Dr. Lily Africa. Whenever I feel a little frustrated, I notice I eat something crunchy, right? And that's a good observation, because when you are able to observe yourself doing these things, guess what? Then you have a choice. Then you are able to say, you know what? I know when I am looking for something outside my existence, it is not going to give me what I'm looking for. Therefore, I need to go within, tune in, and see, why am I feeling this way? When you get to know yourself, you get to know everything else around you. The reason you're going to give yourself grace is because you know you have been programmed. And one of the things about the fourth self, when I say the fourth self, is the ego, is the programming. It'll tell you all sorts of things. Like, you can't do that. What makes you think that you should do a video on this? Just before, right? What makes you think that you know this? What makes you think that you was going to stick to that diet? And some of you guys, right? And even me at times. Say, for instance, if you are on a diet. And I really don't care for saying diet, right? But just say, for instance, you decided to take control of your eating habits. Take control of, and it's really not your eating habits. What it really is how you see yourself. Is your self-image. Say, for instance, you say, you know what? I'm going to take control of this. I'm going to do this. To think that you're not going to be faced with resistance, you are kidding yourself. The reason you're going to give yourself grace is because perhaps when you was growing up, you was told certain things like you was a reject. You was a good for nothing. You always a be fat. And so you took on this self-image of what you was conditioned to believe about yourself. And one of the tricks that the ego would do is the ego would get you to believe in that you supposed to have been figured it out, or it was supposed to happen in an instant just because you read a book. I tell you guys each and every day, the reason why I listen to personal development each and every day and read the books, and not only read the books, but also apply the books to my life, is because I know there's a tape going on in the subconscious mind. And frequencies also, one of the things about frequencies, because you hear so many people say, oh, you're not supposed to feel this way, you're not supposed to feel that way. So what they're merely saying is that you are supposed to suppress your emotions. But last time I checked, whatever you suppress, it causes depression. And so whenever you feel a certain way, don't beat yourself up. Don't guilt trip yourself, because guess what? It's going to keep on perpetuating. The last time you said that you were going on a diet. Now, mind you, you have programming in your subconscious mind that's going on. But the last time you said you was going on a diet and you brought the food, but you didn't get to the root cause. The root cause was your self-image. How do you view yourself? And you got everything together and you're like, I'm going on this diet. I'm doing this diet. And then something happens that seems like a negative effect. And then what do? You go back to that comfort. The comfort, it could be food. You go back there. And then guess what? After you go back there, you feel guilty. You start beating yourself up. You start saying things, oh, I should never did that. But what if you going back there, it is causing you to look at a bigger reason of the reason you have that self-image that you have, that you are overweight. What if it's getting you to go internally to see why you tend to do the things that you do? What if? So it's an ongoing perpetual state. So now you beat yourself up. You feel guilty. Then guess what? You're going to eat more. Okay? And this goes with everything in life. What you focus on grows. But to think that, you're supposed to be so further along. You're supposed to be exactly where you are. And I'm speaking to myself too. But just suppose that the reason why you have fallen is because you've risen. Now you are able to see. Now you are self-aware of the tricks that the ego tends to play, of the programming that you have going on within the subconscious mind. One of the things that I'm going to read is from The Mystic Path of Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. And it says, the two selves within a man. Certain basic principles form the foundation of the mystic path. One of them, which we now meet, will be referred to repeatedly. Your grasp of it makes everything else clear. An individual lives with two conflicting selves within him. His true self and his false self. It is difficult at the start to see that this is so, but what a fine step towards wholeness. The fourth self consists of everything negative within a person. Its nature is to be envious, helpless, angry, despairing, worried, critical, unstable, foolish, and everything. Everything else. Religions call the fourth self the devil or the sinfulness. Philosophy sees it as the lower nature. Modern psychology calls it the ego self that lives in illusion. But whatever the name is the cause of all inward pressure, which explodes outwardly, and wars, crimes, and other social tragedies. The man dominated by his fourth self does not live his day. He is driven through thought. He is hounded by compulsive desires, pained by automatic angers, scared by unrealistic imaginations, because he identifies with these terrors. That is because he wrongly takes himself as his fourth self. His desperation is endless. He is clutched by an unseen enemy. The entire root of your problem is that you can't get out of yourself. One of the things that, oftentimes that we try to do is, and I don't like to say try, but some of the things that we tend to do is you want to change, the fourth self, the ego. Okay. And this is what it says. Okay. It says, now it is utterly useless for a man to try to change or reform his old nature. You cannot improve it in any way whatsoever. Here is where everyone makes his great mistakes. He thinks he can change his fourth self. The fourth self is not even you. It is a programming. He thinks he can change his fourth self, which is impossible. The fourth self makes promises to itself, which it can no more keep than a hawk can promise to change itself into a dove. Of what use to make heroic vows of amendment if the old lawbreaker is to keep them? One of the things I first heard someone say this was my mentor, Bob Proctor. And that was by Ralph Waldo Emerson in a book, The Experience. It is the fixed nature of the fourth self to be negative, just as it is the nature of fire to be hot. Then what can be done? And then it goes on. The fourth nature cannot be and need not be changed, but it can be dissolved and replaced by the true self. Try to see the difference in an impossible effort to change the fourth self and that of replacing it with your essential self. A hawk cannot be changed into a dove, but it can be replaced with a dove. See, instead of you operating from the fourth self, being hard on yourself, hearing that chatter, reverting back to what they said about you, you could never get anything right. How about if you go within? Because if you keep on trying to mask whatever it is that you got going on within yourself, you're going to keep on getting the same exact results. So how do you give yourself grace? Whenever you get off track, so to speak, you be patient with yourself. And you feel those emotions. And those emotions are going to take you within if you allow the emotions, energy, emotions, you allow the emotions. Why do I feel this way? You start asking yourself these questions. Why do I do X, Y, and Z? And now you have a choice, right? Now the choice becomes, do I want to continuously continue this cycle? But to think that your life is going to change because you read one book or read a few books. I read each and every day, and that's the reason being. And I listen to the personal development. But stuff still shows up in my life. And I give myself grace. I speak to myself. Dina, I love you. Dina, you are amazing. And those are some of the things that you need to start telling yourself. Remember, you can't escape a prison if you're not aware that you're in one. And frequencies oscillate. So they go up and down, up and down. To think that, you never supposed to, experience certain things. No, it's all according to your perception. You're still going to experience challenges. But it's all according to your perception. You could either linger in that thing, or you could feel those emotions while you're in that thing and decide that you want better. So that's how to give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. Talk to yourself. When you notice you got off track, don't keep focusing that you got off track, because that's the issue. If whatever you focus on, it grows. So if you say, all right, well, I'm a change the way I view myself, right? I'm gonna view myself as a person that's in top shape, a person that takes care of their body. Guess what? You're gonna work out, you're gonna move your body, you're gonna eat healthier, okay? You're gonna start doing things different. But that doesn't mean you're not gonna be faced with obstacles or challenges. And then when you get off track, ask yourself, why did I get off track? I'm getting back on track. You could make a decision. I'm getting back on track. And when that thing shows up again, guess what? Now you have a decision. Nope, I know when I did this last time, I know the results that I got from this. It's about you becoming an observer, becoming aware of the pattern. And once you're aware of the pattern, guess what? You can break it. It's not to beat yourself up if you experience depression. That's definitely ain't gonna help. Oh, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm so enlightened. They said I should never feel a negative emotion. Be real. Be real. Because the reason you feel that way is to get you to look at something. With something that's going on with yourself. The foreself. See, I had to go through all the things that I had to go through because it got me to here. I had to experience all those illusions I was believing, falling for, thinking. It got me to here, to doing videos, to picking up the books, to taking a leap out on faith, to challenge myself. It all got me to where I am today. So it's not about beating yourself up and saying, oh my goodness, it shouldn't be this way, it shouldn't be that way. My love, you have a program going on in your mind. And the mind is action. So every time you put this guilt trip on yourself, you put this scarcity, lack, mindset, you're gonna perpetuate it. You're gonna keep on doing it because you just focusing. You keep focusing on it. But when you give yourself grace and making a choice and deciding that I want more from life, and I'm doing the best I know I can do. Because everything that you do in this here now moment is from the way you think. It's from your consciousness now. So make sure you give yourself grace. With that being said, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.